Most people think that speed comes from better, faster, and stronger fingers. But fingers alone can only take you so far. Real speed comes from something else. And in this video, we are going to figure out what that is and change the way you think about speed so you can finally unlock it. There is a huge focus among pianists on fingers. Finger strength and stability. Finger position, curved fingers. Flat fingers. Practicing with a metronome, practicing without metronome, constantly trying to push the tempo further and further. And all of these things are actually quite valuable. They're absolutely not wrong. Even more, you can develop without them. But despite all of this, very often people hit a speed ceiling. And I know how frustrating that can be after putting so much time and effort into your practice. Through my experience of teaching hundreds of students and performing constantly, I started noticing a pattern. If physical work alone were enough, this wouldn't happen. People wouldn't hit that ceiling again and again and not be able to accomplish their desired results. So clearly something very important is missing. Piano playing is a very physical activity, so it's completely normal that people focus almost entirely on the physical side. You're doing so many things at the same time that you don't really have the space or the awareness to notice that speed is not only a physical problem. There is a mental component that most people overlook. Everyone talks about what the fingers are doing, but almost no one talks about what the brain is doing, especially at higher speeds. And what I've seen again and again is this. Real speed requires a mental shift. And what I mean by that, and how I'd like to call it, is thinking bigger, seeing things more from a distance, seeing the bigger picture. Most people do the opposite. They zoom in more. They try to control more. They monitor every note even more closely as the tempo increases. Because of fear, because they feel things might fall apart. Because they're afraid the hands won't manage. They believe they need to consciously follow everything as the tempo increases. But trying to go faster while thinking so small, while thinking so zoomed in, it doesn't work. Speed requires the brain to zoom out, not in. The brain needs to step back more and more. And to understand all that, we need to look at how thinking naturally changes with tempo. At a slow tempo, zoomed in thinking is completely natural. You think note by note. You're learning the piece and understanding what's going on. Studying the notes, the rhythm, the fingering. That kind of thinking is not wrong. It's in fact absolutely necessary at this stage. As the tempo increases, the note-by-note thinking needs to change. The brain has to start grouping notes together because things are moving faster. It's not anymore about one note after another. There's simply no time for that. Notes naturally start getting bundled together into small groups, maybe 2 or 3 notes at a time. Thinking has to start shifting, otherwise you're already running behind, and very soon you will hit a speed ceiling already at this stage. Now at fast speeds, there's no conscious awareness of individual notes anymore at all. If you really think about it, if I were to play something very fast, I don't see single notes, I see the whole bar. It's almost like looking at it from space, from a distance. I see the black dots across the bar, but they're not individual notes anymore. They're more like an indication of shape, an outline or direction. Even those small groups of 2 or 3 notes that we talked about before, they start changing as well. They turn into patterns, into shapes going up or down, even into hand positions. The attention moves away not only from single notes, but even from thinking several notes at a time. You start recognizing movement patterns. Sometimes even half a bar feels like a single movement of the hand. And that's the only way speed actually works. Most people try to increase speed without changing how they think. Not because they're doing something wrong, but because they don't know that this shift exists. They're staying in a note-by-note mindset while pushing the tempo. and that creates a hard ceiling. This is extremely common and completely understandable. If you don't know that this mental shift exists, you can't make it. What's especially interesting is that certain practice habits block this mental shift. They keep the brain zoomed in, prevent natural grouping of notes, and make speed feel tense and impossible. That's why a lot of people who struggle with speed are unknowingly practicing in ways that guarantee they will stay stuck. Let me point out two very common and major mistakes. This one is almost ironic. At the beginning, when we are supposed to micromanage everything, most people don't do it precisely enough. We zoom in, but not deeply enough. Notes aren't fully secure, rhythm isn't fully controlled, tempo is already being pushed, and small inaccuracies are tolerated. So it feels like we are in micro control mode, but in reality, it's not precise control. We start increasing tempo before true clarity is there. We practice at speeds where precision is already impossible, and that creates a serious problem. Because later, when the brain needs to zoom out, it won't feel safe doing so. If the foundation isn't clear, the brain will hold on tighter. It will micromanage even more, not less. So the first stage was never fully built, and that blocks the shift later. The second big problem is physical. Many people from the beginning practice too loud, too stiff, too much from fingers. When you play loudly with constant finger activity, you create stiffness. And physical stiffness influences the brain. It keeps the brain in control mode. If you spend a large amount of time practicing like this, you're training tension. You're training zoomed in thinking. And later, when speed requires release of tension, when it requires grouping, motion and flow, that stiffness is still there. It becomes muscle memory, and it's very hard to undo. Combine that with an imprecise foundation and it's almost a recipe for a disaster. The whole structure around which you practiced is weak and tension is built into it. So of course the brain won't zoom out. It can't. And if you want a reliable practice structure, this is exactly what we teach in our course, The Mistake-Proof Pianist. We also talk about tension and how to set up a stable foundation for your piece. The info will be down below. So if you fix these two things, real precision in the beginning and avoiding unnecessary loudness and stiffness, everything changes. You actually gain more control, not less. You gain better tempo control, better dynamic control, more clarity. And because the foundation is stable and relaxed, the brain feels safe to step back, to see the bigger picture. And that's where real speed starts becoming possible. So this is the foundation. Speed is not about fingers. It's about a mental shift. It's about thinking bigger. It's about zooming out more and more as the tempo increases. Now you know that this shift exists. You know that speed requires the brain to step back, not grip tighter. And you know the two main things that block it: an imprecise foundation and unnecessary tension. If you fix those, everything changes. In future videos, we'll talk about how grouping actually works, how to see patterns, how to train that zooming out properly. But for now, next time you practice, make sure that your foundation is precise. Make sure that your playing is free of unnecessary stiffness, and watch how your thinking starts changing as the tempo increases. That's where real speed begins. Thanks for watching.